Yahoo once ruled the internet, then watched Google and Facebook slip away. This is how hesitation and outdated thinking erased a billion-dollar empire. In the year 1998, two unknown Stanford students walked into a boardroom, offering their search algorithm for just $1 million. They were looking for a quick exit, hoping to sell their creation to the reigning king of the internet for a modest sum. But the Yahoo executives refused the offer, believing their own technology was superior and that search was not the future of the web. That rejected algorithm evolved into Google, a global titan now worth nearly $2 trillion, dominating every aspect of our digital lives. Meanwhile, Yahoo, once the ruler of the digital world, has faded into obscurity, serving as a cautionary tale for modern businesses. Why did the most powerful company on the early internet make such a foolish mistake that cost them their entire future legacy? To understand this tragedy, we must travel back to the 90s, when Yahoo was not just a website, but the internet itself. Back then, Yahoo was the ultimate portal, a digital supermarket where you could find news, check email, and play games all day. Their strategy was simple: keep users inside their ecosystem for as long as possible to show them as many advertisements as possible. They built a walled garden, believing that retention was the key to revenue, and that letting people leave was a business failure. This is exactly why they rejected Google, because Google's mission was to help users find answers and leave the site immediately. To Yahoo, a good search engine was actually bad for business, because it reduced the time users spent viewing their expensive banner ads. They were blinded by their own success as a media company, failing to realize that the internet was becoming a technology race. Yahoo viewed the web as a digital phone book to be curated by humans, while Google saw it as a chaotic ocean needing algorithms. By 2002, Yahoo realized their mistake and tried to fix it by offering to buy Google for $3 billion. Google countered with $5 billion, a fair price for a company that was already revolutionizing how the world accessed information. But Yahoo hesitated, quibbling over a few $100 million, and ultimately walked away from the deal that would have saved them. They tried to negotiate like a traditional media company, failing to understand the exponential value of the technology they were trying to buy. History repeated itself just 4 years later, when Yahoo had the golden opportunity to acquire Facebook for $1 billion. The deal was all but signed, and Mark Zuckerberg was ready to sell his social network to the internet giant. But when Yahoo's stock dipped slightly, their CEO tried to renegotiate, lowering the offer to $850 million. Insulted by the last-minute price cut, Zuckerberg tore up the contract right there in the meeting and walked out forever. That decision to save $150 million cost Yahoo a company that is now worth over $1 trillion. The board of directors was left with nothing but regret, having let the two biggest tech giants of the century slip through their fingers. Yahoo entered a severe identity crisis, never quite knowing if it was a media company, a technology firm, or an advertising platform. While Google focused on search and Facebook focused on connection, Yahoo changed CEOs constantly, each bringing a different and conflicting vision. In a panic, they went on a shopping spree, acquiring beloved platforms like Flickr and Tumblr, only to ruin them through neglect. They bought Flickr, the world's best photo community, but failed to innovate, allowing Instagram to rise up and take their place. They spent over $1 billion on Tumblr hoping to capture the youth market, but buried it under corporate bureaucracy and ads. The company culture became toxic and bureaucratic, with different departments fighting each other instead of fighting their competitors in the market. Top engineering talent fled the sinking ship, moving to Google and Facebook, where innovation was celebrated rather than stifled by management. As the mobile revolution arrived, Yahoo was left behind on the desktop, clinging to a business model that was rapidly becoming obsolete. They failed to pivot to mobile, watching helplessly as users migrated to apps and platforms that offered better, faster, and cleaner experiences. To make matters worse, massive security breaches exposed billions of user accounts, destroying whatever trust was left in the brand. The final nail in the coffin came when the core business was sold to Verizon for a fraction of its peak value. So, what is the diagnosis from the business failure lab? Yahoo did not die from a lack of money or talent. They died because of hesitation and an outdated mindset that viewed the internet as a static directory rather than a dynamic tool. They tried to be everything to everyone: news, sports, finance, mail, and search, but ended up being excellent at absolutely nothing. When you try to do everything, you end up achieving nothing. Focus is the most critical currency in the digital economy. Their story teaches us that trying to save $1 million today can cost you $1 trillion in the future. In business, the risk of inaction is often far greater than the risk of action, especially when technology is shifting. Yahoo had the wind at their back and the ocean to themselves, but they refused to raise their sails and navigate. For entrepreneurs watching this, remember that protecting your current business model should never stop you from investing in the future. Yahoo now joins the ranks of Kodak and Blockbuster, titans who refused to adapt and paid the ultimate price for it. Innovation requires bravery and the willingness to cannibalize your own revenue streams before a competitor does it for you. Vision is not just about seeing what is in front of you, but seeing what is possible before it becomes obvious. You cannot fight the current of technological progress. You must learn to swim with it, or you will surely drown. The empire is lost, the opportunities are gone, and all that remains are the lessons we can learn from their failure. If they had just said yes to that $1 million offer, the entire history of the internet would be different. But history is written by the victors, and Yahoo is now just a chapter in the biography of Google and Facebook. This concludes our analysis of Yahoo, the giant that tripped over dollars to pick up pennies and lost the world. Thank you for watching Business Failure Lab. Subscribe now to never miss another case study on the fall of giants. We will see you in the next episode, where we uncover another expensive lesson from the graveyard of corporate history. The numbers don't lie, and they tell a brutal story of how quickly a market leader can become a follower. Culture eats strategy for breakfast, and Yahoo's corporate culture was simply not built to survive the speed of the internet. Journalists at the time didn't realize the significance, but those headlines now serve as epitaphs for a lost digital empire. Without a true north, Yahoo drifted wherever the wind blew, chasing trends instead of setting them for the rest of us. They were stuck buffering while the rest of the world was streaming in high definition, leaving them in the digital dust. Yahoo was a hollow giant for many years, surviving on brand recognition long after their actual product value had completely evaporated. Users are ruthless. They owe no loyalty to a brand that stops solving their problems, no matter how famous it is. Time is the one resource you cannot buy back, and Yahoo wasted a decade trying to find itself. Today, they exist as a shadow, a content farm for news and finance, stripped of the glory they once held. We close the book on Web 1.0, and with it, we bid farewell to the company that introduced us to the internet. Let their mistakes guide your decisions, and may your own business ventures avoid the trap of arrogance and missed opportunity. The sun sets on every empire eventually, but few have fallen from such a great height as the purple giant. $1 million versus $2 trillion. The most expensive calculation error in the history of modern business and technology. This is Business Failure Lab. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video. Goodbye.